Greenwood residents who survived the night, the arson, the looting, the murder, the bombing from the air, was rounded up, put into internment camps, held for a few days, and when they were finally released, they came home to absolute destruction. They found their formerly thriving neighborhoods complete rubble, burned out beyond recognition. And if a building happened to be standing, it had been completely looted. Look at this. Their entire belongings brought out into the street. For what purpose? This is looters. This is the angry white mob looted and destroyed this prosperous Black community, simply for spite and hate. So what do you do in the face of complete devastation? Some people built these temporary structures. They vowed to rebuild their homes and stay in the Tulsa area. The Greenwood section of Tulsa became a refugee camp, basically, for lack of a better term. But a lot of Greenwood residents decided this might be too much, and they abandoned their homes and completely left the area. Now we have two completely different narratives of what happened in the newspapers. This is a white newspaper, of course, from June 1st, 1921, the Tulsa World, and it, of course, counts with the big headline, 2 whites dead in race riot. Not exactly what happened. And, of course, some of the stuff in the article that they talk about is very skewed. Arrest of young Negro on statutory charge caused the battle between the races. And, of course, the governor of Tulsa is listed as the hero. He axed to stop the rioting. Meanwhile, the Black newspaper, the Black Dispatch of Oklahoma City, the Black paper from Tulsa couldn't report on the devastation because it was completely destroyed. The Black newspaper in the area, completely different headline: loot, arson, and murder, way closer to the truth. They talk about the property damage lost. They talk about all the people that are killed and missing. So what do we do now? Well, there's a brief inquiry after the massacre, but suspiciously enough, many of the documents that they needed magically disappeared. What a surprise. 60 white rioters were arrested, but they were never charged. Ruins of best homes in Tulsa colored section. This is someone's prized photograph. Look at these homes completely destroyed. That's not a race riot. That's domestic terrorism. And the blame for the massacre was placed on the victimized community. In the Tulsa City Commission report that was issued 2 weeks after the massacre, the mayor stated, quote, "Let this blame for this Negro uprising go right where it belongs, on those armed Negroes who started this trouble and who instigated it." And the governor, who had gone to Tulsa during the riot, requested that a grand jury investigate the events of that summer. However, he appointed a jury of 12 white men, and of course, they called the event a race riot and attributed it to the Black mobs. No one was convicted for any of the deaths, the injuries, or the property damage that took place. No one was punished whatsoever for all of this damage done. He also refused any requests for reparations. And the true death toll of the Tulsa Massacre will probably never be actually known. Official death tolls at the time ranged between about 36 to 100 Black victims. But in December of 2019, forensic scientists and archaeologists scanned a section of the Arkansas River. They had this ground-penetrating radar, and they found subterranean areas consistent with what would look like a mass grave. There was certainly no attempt to hide the devastation. In fact, plenty of people were proud of what they'd done. So proud, in fact, that they made postcards of their favorite images from the Tulsa Massacre. These are white photographers who took very, very, very upsetting photographs of the damage, the carnage, the terror from the Tulsa Massacre. Everything that these prominent Black leaders and business owners had built was destroyed in a matter of 24 hours. O.W. Gurley's entire empire was destroyed in a few minutes. They targeted him specifically and went after all of his businesses in downtown Greenwood. Another luminary in Greenwood was J.B. Stratford. He owned multiple properties in Greenwood, including a beautiful 54-room hotel with glass chandeliers. It was completely destroyed. He was charged with inciting a riot, along with 69 other black men. And so, under the threat of lynching, he took off. He was afraid for his life. He jumped bail and fled Tulsa and never went back. Finally, in 1996, he was cleared of all charges and exonerated. His name was cleared. Of course, he had already been dead for 60 years. Black Tulsans submitted insurance claims for the damage. Every single insurance claim from the Greenwood neighborhood was denied. Insurance companies said they wouldn't have to pay insurance claims for damage that was incurred during a riot. If you riot, we don't have to pay because your house got burned down while you were rioting. Tulsa residents filed more claims against the city of Tulsa, but of course, the city commission, just like the insurance companies, denied the claims, with one exception. One exception, a white business owner did receive some compensation for guns that were stolen from his shop. This is what's left of the Tulsa Star. Even without a single penny of insurance funds, Greenwood residents did start the process of rebuilding, and many of them stayed and really worked through this moment. But Dick Rowland was never charged for assaulting Sarah Page. He left Tulsa that year and never went back.